Hello, managers. How you doing? It's been a while since the last time I, well, you saw me on a video like this. Right. As promised, I just wanted to get in touch and talk about a proposal of a new format for the new season. Now, this is the last week. We're only a few 3 days away from starting the season. So and the fantasy league. So I thought I'll just give you a quick run through what I believe we could do for the next season, if you're okay with it. So I'm gonna just share a quick deck. Right. So I'm proposing a new format for the next season, and exactly a new format for what you may be asking. I don't know. Maybe. Um, so the reason for introducing some changes to the competition is that the intention is to, or the aim is to actually increase the competition across managers throughout the season. But also, and I like to do it by enabling more ways to play fantasy football. This is something that came up from the survey last season, sorry, the season before, about well, why don't we also play uh, what they call a head-to-head mode in which managers play against each other. um, so that's something that I've been considering that could be introduced in our league as an additional opportunity, so managers can play both. And finally, a new format also to allow us to have new prizes for everyone. um, so what's exactly this format about and how we're going to enable more prizes? Well, the new format is consists on having three competitions throughout the entire season. The competition, one competition is the classic IGGY League, which is it's just a regular league. It, it consists of 38 game weeks, and the rankings of the league are determined by the points achieved by every manager or every team every single game week. Those points are being added up week after week, and the top four, the top players, the top managers at the end of the season, the ones that have achieved more points, are the ones that get awarded with prizes. Um, but however, we could also introduce two additional competitions in a different format. What it would be the cup format. Um, those cups would be based on a head-to-head format. So managers would be pitched against each other, and in a knockoff, in a KO type of cup draw, in which you would play another manager, and if you win, you would move to the next round. But if you lose, you'd be out of the competition. Now, I'm proposing two cups in two different moments of the season. One would be the IGGY Cup, so for the what it would be for the winter season. It would take between 3 and 4 consecutive game weeks, depending on the number of participants that we have in the league this season. And the second one would be the Iggy Gold Cup for when spring arrives and flowers get a bit more golden. Um, Same format. It would be between 3 and 4 weeks, depending on the number of participants, and it would be 4 consecutive weeks, and it would just finish before the end of the season. So it would not coincide with the end of the season. Um, Now, I think one important thing to mention here is the fact that do not believe for a moment, or try not to believe for a moment that the cups will be necessarily won by the same teams that are leading the league. Actually, the reason why they would be placed in those particular periods of the season, like January and April, it it's so all managers, would have to make hard decisions and to decide in which competition they focus their efforts. So, for example, the one in January, that would be the competition would open when also the second wild card is available. And so some managers, and also, for example, in this particular season, in January will be the African nation, the Cup of African Nations. So some players and teams will be affected. Um, so managers will have to make hard decisions in different moments of the season in order to decide how they want to tackle the different competitions. A little bit like in real life, where teams are faced with different competitions in different moments of time, and they have to manage their resources accordingly if they want to compete in all of them, or want to focus on one of them or two of them. That is so obviously teams that are doing well in the league, they'll have, they'll be in a good position to become candidates to win the cup competitions. But um, it, the fact that they're happening in moments where if they, you know, if they take the pedal off the accelerator to focus on a cup, they actually might lose the advantage they have in the league. So again, the aim of this is just to make sure that, or to facilitate that all managers, regardless of the position in the league, they still have a chance to be competitive and a chance to win prizes throughout the season. We all know that sometimes, especially in a competitive league like ours, halfway through the season, or maybe just, towards some point during the winter, the difference between the point difference across teams becomes a bit wide, and it's very difficult to start climbing up back up to the rankings. So ultimately, the intention of this format is also to facilitate that all managers feel they can compete and they can access to prizes and they can beat other managers throughout the season, not just in the first half of it. Um, the Gold Cup also will happen in a moment where teams will be they'll be competing in the later stages of the Champions League or in the later stages of the FA Cup. So, real life managers might actually choose to do different lineups, which might affect the potential of our teams. So again, it's a crucial moment in the Premier League season, which makes it a bit harder to anticipate who's going to play, what players will be on form, and in addition to that, then in the IGGY League, you will be taking part in another competition. So you will have maybe some advantage towards your rivals if you want to focus on one of those competitions. Anyway, that's a bit an explanation of how the new format would work. Now let's look at in detail how these cup competitions will actually function. Essentially, as you can see, it's basically is a cup competition based on a natural draw. So all the teams in the league will be put into a natural draw just before um, every cup. So see, the White Cup is in January. Then we'll do a draw just towards the end of the year, and it will be a natural draw. Nothing. There will be no ratios or coefficients. As I said before, we are not the UEFA, thank God. And then the way teams will progress into the next round of the cup, it'll be purely based on this points they score in the game week where the cup competition starts. Like for what you can see on screen is an example of, let's say, for example, that the White Cup, the IGGY White Cup, starts on game week 21, and the draw shows that Team A is being pitched against Team B. Now, managers do not need to do anything. We will handle the draw by ourselves, and we will publish the draw through the league chat, and then essentially on every game week, the points of Team A or Team C or Team E will be pitched against the points of Team B or Team D, and whoever scores most points will move to the next round. Now, the next round will happen in the next game week, and again, the winner of the winners of the previous round will face other winners of that round, and the points they score in the next game week, like game week 22, will be pitched against each other, and this way they will be progressing to the following round. The number of rounds will actually depend on the number of participants that we have in the league this year. Just to point it out, everyone will be taking part on all competitions. So there's not going to be a selection or anything like that. Everyone that signs up in the IGGY League for this next season will take part on all the competitions. One interesting thing here is that these two new cups will enable or would create the opportunity to pitch for 4 new prizes. Because the prizes of the cups will be given to the champion, whoever wins the cup, but also whoever gets into the final. As I said before, managers do not need to do any particular inscription or sign up or anything in order to take part in these cups. We will handle that for everyone else. Now, when I say we, I mean myself and Carles, our Catalan Hotspurs manager, and whoever else wants to help us, just running the draws and publishing the results. So this is an example of how the cup will be structured, and it will consecutively work. Now, so how can we achieve 3 new competitions into the current league? Well, the easy answer to that is essentially the entry fee will increase the entry fee to £45 for the new season. Now, the important thing to remember here also is that the league prices will continue to be handsomely stock, meaning that we're not decreasing the value of prices of the league. I'll give you an example. I've created an example for you guys so you can visualize exactly what I mean. What you can see on the left-hand side is the price breakdown for the new season for all competitions, assuming that we have 19 participants like we did last season. If we get those 19 participants and we apply the new fee of £45, what we get is actually that the IGGY League, the prices of the IGGY League are distributed from the champion, the first place, to the fourth one. And the amounts, as you can see on the right-hand side, will, again, this is an example based on the prices awarded last season where the entry fee was £30 and the number of managers that played were 19. So if we take the same number of participants, we'll see that we can actually guarantee the same price value for the league. But in addition to that, we have 4 more prizes, which are the prices for each of the cups. As I said before, there would be 2 on each cup for the champion and the finalist. In order to do that, well, you might notice that one of the things I've changed for the new season is I've removed what was the fifth the lowest price that we were giving up back last season. Which, by the way, let me make a side note in here. This is just a message for David B. Dave B. I have your. Just don't worry. I have your price. You won last season the most points in a single game week. I still have your money. I haven't forgotten about you. We'll clear that price in the next coming days. But in order to enable a good distribution of the pot, one of the things I have to do was to remove that small price, that fifth price for which last season was for the most points in a single game week, and I think the previous one was for the best summary, weekly summary. In this particular case, I'm taking that one, and with the addition with the additional money gathered from the new fee, we can have a different price breakdown, including prices for the finalists. As you can see, the value of the finalists is more or less the value of the fifth prize, the lowest price of the previous leagues. But one interesting thing is that the prices for winning a cup are obviously not as much as winning the league, but they're significant in the sense that they're both almost as much as, making a second place in the league, which generally means that you've done a very good season. So even if you're not fighting for a second place or a third place, you can still have the chance to access to a decent, to a very handsomely, to a very decent price by playing in the cups. Now, I don't know if you're asking yourself that, but I ask myself that as well. Is why would I want to pay a higher fee than before? We're in the middle of a recession in many places of the world, and the cost of living has increased enormously in the last, since in the last 12 months. So why would I now actually spend more money on playing fantasy league? Well, you know, obviously you're free to choose to participate. There's no obligation, but if you want to, if you want to see what could be the value, what is not just the value of playing differently and with more competition, but actually the rewards value. I just did a quick calculation about what would be the odds. What were the odds to on day one? So when we were starting the league, what were the odds for each of us that we participated in season 2022 and 2023 of for example, duplicating the entry fee. So if we paid £30, what were the odds of actually getting £60 back plus the entry fee? And it was 1 on 9, around 10% of chances, and the odds of recovering the entry fee were slightly higher, 1 in 5, around 21%. Now, with the increase of the fee and the addition of new competitions with new prices for season 2023, well, actually, the odds of duplicating that fee on day one, they've increased substantially to 4 in 7, and the odds of recovering the entry fee have also increased very, very interestingly to 1 in 3, around 30%. So, well, that's it essentially. Thank you very much for listening to this quick video, and sorry, let's see if I can come back. Hey, I'm back here. So this is it. That's the proposal for the new format. I hope you find it interesting. I'm conscious that the increase of the entry fee is significant in the sense that is 50% more than what it's been the last couple of seasons. But I think I tried to explain as clearly as possible the reasons why this increase is justified in more opportunities, more engagement throughout the season, and better chances to get a reward at the end at the end of the season. There's more details about, I mean, how draws will run. Obviously, if the number of participants is even in so it's if we have 19 participants, we'll have to arrange how we get an even number of participants for a draw. But if you have any questions around how the draw will work, I'm happy just place them on the chat and I'll answer them for you. I just thought it was better just to give you a quick overview of what is the proposal. Now, I really would like to know your opinion or your thoughts or your reaction towards this proposal. So what I've done is I've included a quick survey on the chat um, for you to choose or you to say just to express your whether you'd be interested in playing the new format, yes or no. And depending on the results of that, obviously, we'll make a decision on what is the entry fee for the new season. But now, again, conscious of the time of we're actually very near the beginning, beginning of the Premier League that all will start on Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm leaving the poll open for Wednesday. Well, it's Wednesday already. So for Wednesday, and at the end of the day, at the end of Wednesday, I'll check the results, and based on that, we'll determine the fee for the entry fee for the new season. And then on Thursday, first thing, I'll be chasing all of you. I will send obviously the payment details where you can transfer the money. Just side note for Dave P. Don't worry, I know you have your £29. I have your £29, so we can, arrange something for the entry fee of the new season. But yeah, on Thursday I'll be chasing for all of you to get payments in as many as possible in time for the beginning of season 23-24. Well, that's all. Thank you very much. Sorry for the for the tardiness of this proposal, but I hope you find it interesting. And yes, please check the poll and just give your vote on what you would like to happen in the new season. All right, guys, thank you very much, and well, best of luck for me for the new season. But I hope you enjoy it as well. Take care.